It's been a week since the tragic death of 21 teenagers at eNyobeni tavern last Sunday. The tavern has since been closed and a criminal case opened against the owner. Police have concluded the investigation at the crime scene, but the cause of the death is yet to be determined. A mass funeral will be held on Wednesday.
It's very disturbing, but it's still very fresh. We are still puzzled, man. We are still left confused because there are no answers as to what has prevailed in that place of tragedy. We are still left confused. That's why we took a march on Friday to go to these various authorities and institutions on how they can answer us in terms of their own investigations and to tell us what were their findings as to what had happened there. And obviously, as this has been declared as a national crisis, we were expecting a bit of some speed up in the processes, but yet there is nothing, no engagement with the community as the youth, no engagement with everything that is happening. And all we see is that the kids, the survivors and the families are being put back into that traumatic process again and again by being engaged, by being asked the same questions by the media, by the authorities and by the local members of the community, and no one is coming with any solutions or any answers as to what has happened so that the kids can find a bit of some closure into what has happened.
Yes, I remember during the march, you said, the youth, in fact, of this area said that it's very disappointed with the way the police handled this matter, saying that they responded very late, and also about the investigation itself, saying that they're taking too long. But they said that they want to do a thorough investigation, hence they request more time and asking for patience on the side of the community as well as the nation as well.
It's been preached to us every day, to every incident that has happened there previously, even before this tragedy. They've been telling us they are doing thorough investigation and no resolutions have been made yet. And now we are here talking about 21 kids. You can imagine, 21 kids died, and if they did a bit of speed up and they did their job thoroughly as they say they are doing right now, prior to this incident, I think some of these issues would have been prevented. There's a bit of there's a lack of lack of responsibility and lack of urgency amongst the stakeholders that are working within the communities.
Well, it seems as if underage drinking is something that has been promoted there at that establishment. We've heard that it was not the first incident that young people were sold alcohol in that establishment.
Yeah, we always, some things, when you let the rules and regulations slide a bit from one place, it happens to the next place, and it expands to other places, to more places like that one. Now, if the authorities, maybe like the liquor board, had did their own follow-up as to after issuing the licenses, maybe some of these things wouldn't happen. Maybe the underage drinking wouldn't exist in our communities, but they lack that responsibility of follow-up, doing their own job, and we don't know what are their criteria of doing their job, because we can't do their job for them. They are the one that authorize the licenses and so forth. So it has become a bit of a norm because there's a lack of responsibility within the structures that are working within our communities.
All right, what do you propose as a solution to curb the underage drinking in communities?
Let's occupy the kids with activities. First of all, our soccer field, we were unable to use it because of the way that infrastructure is. It has not been taken care of. If they did this cleaning that they are doing right now, prior to this burial of 21 kids, if they did that every year, so that we can have a soccer field, we can have a netball field, we can have a whatever activity that the kids, that the youth wants to do, I think some of these things would be prevented to keep them occupied, so that they do not have time to go to attend taverns, because you can imagine a 13-year-old attending a tavern, but if you had a program up front to keep them occupied, maybe reading, maybe poetry, maybe anything to keep them within their likes, it would have been prevented into these programs. So I think there's a lack of responsibility amongst the leadership of this community, and there's a lack of engagement with the youth, because some of the programs that they bring within our community, they just assume that we want these programs, but it is always viable to first engage the kids as to what do they want, what do they want to be active in. Like the programs of sport, you see many kids are kicking a ball on the car road, and that is dangerous. But if we had soccer fields, that they would have had a place to be active in.